Well, hey, let's talk about the neck on this telly that we're doing. Whenever I get a new instrument, or if I'm putting a new neck on an old instrument, uh, if they've already come with frets, they're just a little bit on the sharp side to me. I don't really like it. Some of them will be a little sharper than others. And so one of the things I like to do is dress the frets up. This is one of those things kind of like when you're playing with, say, a compression pedal. You don't really realize the difference it makes until you cut it off. Or you got a car and you go get a new muffler put on it. You didn't realize how loud that muffler was until you got the new one on, and all of a sudden you can't hear it. It's the same difference. You really don't realize that these edges are here until you smooth them out, and then all of a sudden it's like a whole new neck to you. And the reason for this is, this is a Fender Telecaster Deluxe neck, straight from Fender, and they don't have time to sit there and dress these frets out. They do a quick production oriented thing, and then they ship it out the door. And so if you go to a music shop, grab a new Telecaster, Stratocaster, anything, grab something brand new, and then go grab the same type of instrument in the used guitar section, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll feel the difference in the frets when you run your hand down them. So there's a couple of different things you can do. I'm going to show you the way I do it. Barely noticeable by looking at it. You don't really notice it until I'm done with it. So I'm going to use a fret dressing file. StewMac, I think it was $35. Which I remember thinking it should be bigger for that much money, but it wasn't. But before I had this, I used this, and all this is a fine tooth file that I had ground the grit off of one side so that I could use it without cutting into the wood. And I've seen people do it with like popsicle stick with some sandpaper glued to it, or a fingernail file. But anyways, this has a rounded side and a flat side. They're both smooth, and then the two wide sides have your grit. And all I'm going to do is, if you're looking down on the fret, I'm going to put a picture up for you. You're going to see like a half circle from where they had done the miter at the factory. I'm going to use this to take the corners off of that rectangular fret. I'm going to do all these corners, and then I'm going to come back and show you what we're going to do with the top of the fret. Okay, done with that part. And when you're doing it, you're going to feel it snag. Do it until you don't feel any snags. And then I go across it, and I don't concentrate on the tops of it. I do concentrate on where it sits in the wood, in the fingerboard itself. And from here, you can do two different things. This one has nice beveled edges. I don't want to mess that up. If I wanted them to be round, I could use a crowning file, but I'm not going to do that. And even so, you could just give it a quick job if you want. But I'm going to show you the way I like to do it, especially if they're beveled like this one is. tape it off and sand it. So let me get this taped off real quick. Okay, he's all taped off, looking good. It's easier when you're taping it off if you go longwise first. It just makes it easier when you're taking it off. Now, we don't want to reshape the frets. We just want to get rid of those edges. So, a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper and just a quick little rub. That's all you need. That's it. And of course, you know, you run your hand up and down it, make sure what you got. It's 1000 grit, so you're not going to take too much off of it, you know, at any one time. You're just smoothing out the edges is all you're doing. Wow, that first one keeps getting me, doesn't it? Then, something else they don't bother doing at the factory is polishing it out. See, I'm not shaping things or anything like that. I'm just getting that edge off, that half a circle edge that is left is what we're getting right now doing this. There we go. Now they don't polish it at the factory. I mean, however it is when they put it on is how it is. So you can take and use, certainly use some Brasso metal polish. I thought I had some. You can use any kind of metal polish, but I like to just use the little Dremel kit. It's easy enough. Just a little bit of compound and a foam pad. Once you find everything for it. And what I usually do is I just get a little bit of this on my finger and just smear a little bit on each fret. A little goes a long way with this. In fact, once you get it on the wheel, I mean, you really don't need to add more. This is kind of like a clay. I guess that's what it is. But got a little bit of a grit to it, so it will do the final polishing for you. And let's start at the top. And when you're doing it, you're going to be tilting kind of down so you don't hit anything else. So I go one way, but then I go the other way. Or you can go this way, turn the neck around, however you want. But make sure you get both sides and pay attention to the ends because that's where you just did all your work. I'm going to get this polished out and then I'll be back. Okay. Got him all polished out. Now I'm just going to take a clean cotton cloth and polish it by hand, one at a time. And you'll see a huge difference when you do this part of it. And they'll really start to shine up. This never takes too awful long to do. Alright, got the tape off. Wow! Got the tape off. And man, it's looking really good. I'll change over to a clean cloth and just finish buffing these frets out, making sure everything's clean. You're going to see a big difference. You're going to see a huge difference because they weren't polished from the factory. At least not on a fender, they're not. But even more so, man, you're going to feel the difference. All of a sudden, your hand's gliding. You're not getting hung up on anything. It is a night and day difference. You can really wrap around it now. So, you know, it takes maybe about an hour, something like that, hour and a half to do it. It's definitely well worth your time. It's time to fit a nut on this thing, get it put on that Telecaster, string it up, set it up, see what it's got. Hope this helps you. I hope you try this, and if you try this, you're going to have such a big difference. You're going to watch all my other videos, I guarantee it. So until then, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, go to our YouTube homepage and find our Facebook homepage and check that out too. Until next time, have a good day.